Mammon was created by God, along with all the other angels, in ancient times. When he was in heaven, he would often look out at the golden pavement of Empire Road and be enchanted by its splendor. Hell began gathering as many angels as possible to form an army to wage war against God. He promised the rich man unlimited wealth and gold and promised that it would all be his. Mammon was intrigued and agreed to his offer to fight by his side. As the war progresses, Mammon fights Raphael, while the angel is looking for someone. Although Mammon tried his best, he was ultimately defeated by Raphael and banished to hell. Mammon was one of the numerous pre-Christian gods. He was afterward considered to be a fiendish figure since he was associated with the sin of ravenousness and insatiability. His appearance was said to take after a haggard aristocrat, with distorted highlights and clutching his cash pockets. He built an awesome royal residence in hell, filled with brilliant veins for Satan. The silly eager men accept that this was heaven, whereas he would as it were discover punishment there Jesus was against. The revere of cash embodied in Mammon, the man seems not to serve Mammon, and God at the same time. Those who were beneath Mammon's impact discover themselves in an unending journey for cash and fabric belonging, and so will not discover the way to heaven. After a short brief now explain the whole story of Mammon. Mammon is a high-ranking demon in hell and is also one of the 7 princes of hell, each representing the 7 dangerous sins, with him representing the sin of eagerness. Afterward, demonological compositions such as Duplantis' word references infernal attributes Mammon as hell's envoy to England. For Thomas Carlyle, in past and present, the Gospel of Mammonism got to be an allegorical personification for the realist soul of the 19th century. Mammon is credited as the maker of speculative chemistry, particularly as the one who presented knowledge to people on what the correct catalytic compounds are required to make gold. Mammon's bestowal of such taboo data is moreover driven to the creation of the homunculi, humanoid substances of incredible control and quality, which in turn makes him the backhanded maker of such animals. He to begin with appeared the control of speculative chemistry in Egypt in 300 BC, to a metallurgist sorcerer named Ronnie in conjunction with his followers, who were also at the time individuals of the as of late shaped Illuminati. With Mammon's direction, he makes a total homunculus, utilizing his and their blood as a medium. This total, all-knowing homunculus, formed within the resemblance of Ronnie, watches Ronnie and others out of interest and slight envy. It then decides to move approximately its possess agreement while being beneath the cautious direction of Mammon. Maybe Mammon's 2 most noteworthy accomplishments are the developments of the correct hand of fate and the twin edge, both of which have unspeakably devastating properties covered up inside them. The correct hand of fate acts as the key that will open the door where the ancient ones are being kept at co from God's creation. And the twin blade was made to be capable of murdering nearly anything. Mammon shows up as a wolf-like devil of wealth, especially given that wolves would be related with eagerness within the Center Ages. Mammon's skin showed up to be completely made of a brilliant fabric, but with a few dark seared marks. He had single bent spikes sticking out of his elbows, 2 other spikes out of his bare edges, and at last his knees. His feet were taken after those of a few kinds of falcon or mythical beast, and his hands taken after the claws of a mythical beast. His tail was also that of a mythical beast. His head on the other hand takes after that of a wolf with no unmistakable lips, thus allowing his furious dagger-sharp teeth to be visible. He had shining brilliant golden eyes with a dark sclera. When unfurling his wings, they are moreover of a gold color in spite of the fact that the tips of his secondary feathers are blurred dark, with the more noteworthy auxiliary coverts being a burned dark. In Mammon's female form, she could be a well-proportioned youthful lady with the biggest breast size among all the evil spirit masters, together with waist-length blonde hair with two gigantic twisted horns pointing downwards from the back and best and center of her head, decorated with a lavish hairband. She features a match of ruddy and dark wings growing from the little of her back, which acts like a half-skirt, beside her real half-skirt, which looks like her wings, to cover her butt, and she can withdraw her wings to cover up them. She wears a lavish dark sleeveless beat with a neck watch, a large breast window, and a dark thong panty with a heart symbol. On her arms, she wears resplendent fingerless musical drama gloves, and on her legs, she wears lavish thigh-high flat-heeled boots. Like other evil spirits, she moreover contains a heart spade-tipped tail, which she can also withdraw to stow away, but she rarely shows it for a few reasons. Mammon could be a Hebrew word that shows up within the new confirmation of the book of scriptures that deciphers to cash or riches. He is regularly portrayed as an untrue idol or literal demon in encouraging extra-biblical works. In appearance, Mammon is to some degree comparative to the divine beings Plutus and Dispater, particularly when Plutus shows up as a wolf-like evil spirit of riches, wolves being related with eagerness within the Center Ages. Thomas Aquinas metaphorically described the sin of ravenousness as a mammon being carried up from hell by a wolf, coming to kindle the human heart with greed. In a few elucidations, Mammon was not an evil spirit but another title for untrustworthy riches. Afterward, Mammon gets to be seen as a real evil spirit and is additionally one of the 7 sovereigns of hell, each speaking to the 7 dangerous sins. Mammon speaks to eagerness and is known as the treasurer of hell, and was said to have dealings with the Greek divinity Zeus. Gregory of Nyssa also asserted that Mammon was another title for Beelzebub. Within the 4th century, Cyprian and Jerome relate Mammon to covetousness and eagerness as a fiendish ace that enslaves, and John Chrysostom indeed embodies Mammon as greedy. Within the Middle Ages, it was embodied as an evil divinity or evil presence, evidently, but inaccurately, determined by the Egyptian god Amun-Ra. Numerous outlines depicted him as a hawk-headed humanoid, comparative to the god Ra, and in some cases with 2 heads, the 2-headed eagle being a heraldic image of its claim, related to different domains such as the Byzantines and the Romans. He shows up in Milton's Heaven Misplaced as a fallen blessed messenger, and within the celebrated demonology book Word references Infernal, represented as a little man clutching packs of cash. In a few sources, Mammon was initially a term inferred from the Christian Bible utilized to depict fabric riches or eagerness, most regularly embodied as a deity.